Welcome to today's episode of the Declutter Hub podcast, your channel for super easy, no-nonsense advice on how to declutter and organise your home. Please welcome your hosts, professional organisers Ingrid Jansen and Leslie Spellman.
Hello and welcome listeners to episode 65 of the Declutter Hub podcast. I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Leslie.
If you have clutter and want to sort it out, this is the show for you. In today's episode, Leslie and I will be talking about everything we have been up to in 2019 and what we've learned about our journey in the Declutter Hub. And Leslie, it's her last episode of the year. Can you believe it?
No, where did that year go? Such a busy year. And now we're at the end of it. It's crazy.
I know. It's like, we're all like looking forward to 2020, but I'm like, can we please recap 2019? We've done so much, we've learned so much. It's just been an absolutely fantastic, crazy, wonderful, and everything in between year, hasn't it? It's not been an easy year. I'm not going to lie. It's not been an easy year, but it's been just so fabulous, hasn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely has. Anyway, how was your Christmas?
My Christmas was wonderful. Thank you very much. I had a lovely time visiting my family. And how about you?
Lovely. It's nice, this lull, isn't it? This kind of lull in between Christmas and New Year. This is my kind of lazy time of the year, if I'm truly honest. I always have these great intentions to go out for long, brisk walks every day and do all these amazing things. And I tend to be a little bit on the lazy side, which I think is good. It's good to have a little bit of a reset, isn't it, before what 2020 brings next week. Can you believe that? 2020 next week.
I know. This is the end of a decade as well. You know what I mean? The decade has gone.
And we're just getting older. That's good. Let's not talk about decades passing us by, because that'll get way too depressing.
That is true. But can we please look back on 2019? Because we've done some amazing things, if we say so ourselves, haven't we?
I know, we never knew that we would be able to kind of pull this off, really, did we? But, we're like, oh, okay. So, all of those podcasts, and we've delivered a podcast every single week, haven't we, that people have absolutely loved. The nicest thing about 2019 is all the feedback that we get from you guys and hearing about your journeys and how it's affected you and how we've inspired you to take action. And that's what this is all about, really. And the podcast is the first way that we found, wasn't it, to talk to you guys directly? Because what we realised is Ingrid and I like to talk, as you may have gathered. We like to talk together and to chat together. And it just seemed great. And it seems that a lot of you are loving what we're saying. So that's good, isn't it?
Do you think it's the accents, Leslie? Is it the accents that people love, or what?
I can't believe anybody likes my accent, but apparently so. Apparently they're quirky and individual. So let's see what that looks like. I'm just glad that people can understand me, because I talk at 100 miles an hour. So I think that's a bonus. I've learned to slow down over the course of the year, and I hope everyone appreciates that.
That is definitely true, listeners. I mean, in the beginning, when Leslie and I just became friends, the first 5 minutes, I couldn't understand a word she was saying, because I was like, okay, let me adjust my headspace that I can understand what you're saying. So, but I think we've enjoyed the podcast so much as well, haven't we? We tried to cover everything, emotions and decluttering and organizing, but we also tried to have a laugh, and we tried to share as much information with our listeners as we can, but we've loved it. Let's be honest here.
We definitely have, and just recapping, we were talking, weren't we, before we came onto the podcast about what our favourite podcasts have been. And that's a really tough one, isn't it? So if we go back to the beginning of 2019, the world was talking about decluttering, wasn't it? Because Marie Kondo's Netflix show came out in January, and everybody was really, really interested in her methodology. And as professional organisers then, we were getting asked for our opinion. I went on Radio 4, we did radio, we wrote blogs about things. It was an interesting time. And so we did a podcast quite early on, didn't we? Episode 18 it was, that was all about our thoughts on Marie Kondo. And it allowed you and I then to evaluate the way that we work and how that differs to the way that Marie Kondo works. And it sort of cemented a little bit the way that you and I definitely are very similar in terms of the way that we work. And so I think that's our most listened to podcast, isn't it? It's been a very popular one. So if you've not listened to that, have a listen.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. And for me, what I really enjoyed was the wardrobe series we did, episodes 22, 23, and 25. It was all about organizing your wardrobe like a pro, how you can declutter your wardrobe, why it's so difficult to declutter wardrobe items. So that series that we did, really enjoyed doing that. And I think it was really well listened to as well.
Definitely. The lovely thing about the wardrobe series really was that we were able to go into it in quite a lot of detail, weren't we? Because we split it over several podcasts. So it's a really useful one because we are restricted by the amount of time that we've got to chat. We could talk for hours about all these things, couldn't we, Ingrid? But we have to keep it, you don't want to listen to us for 3 hours at a time. So yeah, I really enjoyed that wardrobe one. And again, it was one of our most listened to ones, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, really enjoyed that. How about other podcasts you really like to do, Leslie?
And we've had some really inspirational guests from the professional organising world, haven't we? Talking about photo organising and routines and looking after kids and, different things. We've had some fantastic professional organiser guests. But I think there's two that resonated with me in 2019. And those are the two where we had clients of ours individually talking about their journeys and their stories. So I spoke to Cheryl, who was one of my clients a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, that I work with Cheryl now. And she talks about her journey. And it was so insightful in terms of a lot of the issues that people have when they've got a cluttered home, where have these habits and behaviours come from. And so I think there was so much insight into there, and I absolutely loved it. And it was life-changing for Cheryl. And so I think it's so lovely to be able to go back and revisit that. And I think it was very inspirational for other people, because a lot of the time when we have clutter in our homes, we feel like we're the only ones, don't we? Mm-hmm. And so it's so nice then to hear about other people that are also overwhelmed and also going through the same thing. And that's what I really loved about that one. So I think that was one with Cheryl McGowan, and I think that was episode 42. So if you've not listened to that, go back and take a listen, because it is really lovely. And there are tears. There are tears.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of my favorite ones was the one I did with Julia about making space to grieve. And there was also tears, but for me, so that was really strange. Of everything you would have expected our guests to cry, but no, I got really overwhelmed by emotion in episode 58. It's a recent one, but very, very dear to my heart. And it's just been phenomenal doing the podcast, actually. It's been so fantastic. And we are nearing 100,000 downloads, Leslie. I mean, that's a scary fact in itself as well, isn't it? So many people love listening in, and we just see that we look at the statistics every once in a while and think, oh my gosh, we are nearing 100,000 downloads. I'm really proud of that, actually.
Exactly. Really proud. Gosh, that takes us we're really high in the podcast charts as well. So there are podcast charts that are saying that we're number 10 in the home and garden podcasts in, I think, America, the UK, and Australia, which is huge. You know what I mean? Like, well, we're in the charts.
I know. So yeah, so listeners, we just wanted to say a very big thank you for tuning in every week. And we love seeing the message. Oh, I can't wait for the podcast to come in on Friday. And because we know you all enjoyed it so much, we didn't take a break this year. We did 52 episodes of us chatting away and just absolutely loving every minute of it. So thank you so much for listening. We really, really appreciate it. But besides the podcast, Leslie, we've done loads of other stuff as well.
Yeah, it's been a busy year, but I think one of the other things, so the podcast is definitely us sharing our sort of knowledge and expertise. But the other thing that is a bit more interactive, where we're definitely hearing from you, is the challenges that we've run this year within the Declutter Hub community. And so we've done 3 main challenges, haven't we, which have all been fab and people have really, really loved in their own individual ways. So we started off earlier in the year in Lent with the 40 days, 40 items challenge. And this is when we were just getting going, wasn't it, Ingrid, really? And so we were going live on Facebook every day, talking about one thing that we had decluttered from our house and why. And I think that really got people going, and people were talking about it all the time. And there's nothing as nice for us, is there, as hearing people saying, oh, you inspired me and I just did my stationery drawer, or whatever that is. It's really, really inspiring for us. That's what we're here for at the end of the day. So we absolutely love doing those challenges as well. So we did the 40-day, 40 items challenge. Then we did the wardrobe challenge. Do you want to talk about the wardrobe challenge, Ingrid?
Yeah, one of my favorite things was when I admitted of finding a bathing suit where actually the elastic was creaking. And I found it in my drawers. And I'm hoping that really makes our listeners laugh as well, because we're normal people. We're not, I don't have like 3 things in my cupboards. I have a cupboard with clothes and stuff as well. So to find the swimsuit that actually with creaking elastic and that made everybody laugh so much, and the fact that I bought a summer hat and actually really wondered why on earth I actually even thought about that buying a summer hat was a good thing in the world. And we got the feedback back from the people who are doing the challenge, like, oh, I do that too. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I'm going to really pay attention next time I'm going to go shopping. I'm not going to do that because you've made me laugh and think about it. And the 5 days were just absolutely brilliant. And we had so many people joining in. And for that challenge, we actually did a pop-up Facebook group as well. So besides our normal Declutter Hub community, we did a pop-up Facebook group. And we had so many people invested in joining in, posting about the hashtags, posting their before and after pictures. It was absolutely brilliant.
We really kept people waiting, didn't we, as well, with the wardrobe challenge. And so we're like, nope, you can't declutter yet. Nope, you've got to think about things. You've got to prepare things. And so, because that's very much the way that we would work. And so we didn't want people to just jump in and fail. We wanted people to think about what they were doing, to explore the emotions that they've got, and then to go into the decluttering at that point. So that was really interesting. So I think it was an interesting challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah. I think a lot of people got a lot of very good insights from that challenge, and you could see that in the comments, and you can see people coming back with questions and their own stories, and we have somebody said, oh, we can't wait to, we're so excited, my husband wants to know who you are, because for the first time in forever I was really committed to decluttering and being on board with your challenge. And oh my gosh, that was just lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely was. And then the final challenge that we did in 2019 was our random acts of decluttering, wasn't it? Where we tackled specific areas in the home that have a habit of breeding, let's call it, that kind of find themselves in different random piles all over your house. That was a different type of challenge. We did it on purpose. We did smaller areas, didn't we? Because we knew that we were approaching this kind of crazy holiday season, so we couldn't go all out in terms of decluttering. And that was hugely successful as well. So we hope that you enjoyed that.
Yeah, we really think about, we just don't kind of go, oh, well, let's just kind of think of something. We really put a lot of thought into how we're going to do the challenge, what is best for everybody, how do they learn the most. But I think for us both, we realize it's not about the quantity of items that leave. We're not saying you have to declutter 100 items. It's more about the quality, because we want to help you think about what you're going to declutter, how you're going to declutter it, and how you can make those changes to keep long-lasting good habits in place. And yeah, the random acts was great as well. And oh my gosh, I was trying to film the videos for that challenge when I actually had the flu, which is very, very rare for me. And I videoed them all the wrong way. And oh my gosh, if I can get back to that, I'm like, I'm so glad I was better the week later and I could just do it without kind of having to blow my nose all the time.
The technology has been quite we talk about it being quite a year. So the technology for you and I, we're used to going out, talking to people, encouraging people to let go of things, exploring why. That we're not used to sitting behind a computer all day worrying about live streaming and Facebook Lives and getting videos right and portrait and landscape and statistics and podcast hosting companies. And so it's been quite the year in terms of us learning, but we're kind of getting there, aren't we? We've had help along the way, but we're definitely getting there. And we feel that we're making progress with every next step. Mm-hmm. So because of the technology, that was one of the things that slowed us down in what we wanted to do in 2019. And I think that was a lesson to us as well, wasn't it, Ingrid, that even though you've got great intentions to do something, sometimes things stand in the way of getting things done, whether it's clutter or whether for us it was a launch of our membership site. we wanted to launch our membership site early in 2019. Then we put it back, then we put it back, then we put it back again. Finally, we launched in September. So we were a whole sort of 7 or 8 months behind where we wanted to be. And as we look back now, that's fine, because we learned so much in that 9 months, and we worked out what our members want in that 9 months much more. We learned what we are, in terms of doing more on the podcast and things like that. We know where our strengths lie. We are not these perfectionist type people. And I think that's why people are encouraged by what they hear on the podcast and want to join us as members, because they're real people. And so keeping it real, I think keeping it real should be our strap line, really, shouldn't it? But I think someone's already got that, so I don't think we can choose that one. So, but yeah, so I think we've learned an awful lot, and we finally launched our membership site in September, which we were delighted about, weren't we?
Oh gosh, yeah. And I will tell you, listeners, Leslie is the techie one of the two of us. So for me, the learning curve has been just about a vertical line, just goes not like gently gradient. No. Boom, 90-degree line upwards. Ingrid, come on, you can do all this tech stuff. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I've got so much to learn. But I've got other things that I love to do, and I love to do all the videos, and I love to do the lives and those kind of things that really, really float my boat. But definitely Leslie's the techie one of us, and without her and our wonderful website guy, we wouldn't, that membership site probably wouldn't still haven't been launched if it was up to me.
Exactly. So we want to thank all our lovely members. We've got loads of members who joined up this year, and we're so happy to have you there. And it's brilliant to see your journeys within the membership. So how is the membership different to what we offer in our free community then, Ingrid?
There's a big difference, because in our Facebook group we do lives, and we post lovely things and quotes and some photos and inspirational things. But in our membership, we actually teach people how they need to declutter. What's the process? What do you need to take into consideration? What emotions come into play when you want to declutter? How do you need to organize? What storage works really well? So all of those things, we give you our knowledge and our expertise, and we teach you how to declutter at home.
It's very thorough, isn't it? I think what we talked about is it's almost like a complete brain dump of everything that you and I have both learnt in the last 10 years. And then we formulate that into a course. We try and make it a nice, easy course. The tech, even though the tech on our end has been really complicated, the reason why that is because we want it to be really simple at your end. Yeah. So we want it to be really easy. We don't want you to have to be downloading things and doing complicated things and uploading applications and all that. We just want you to go on the website, click play, and off you go. So that's been our aim, and we definitely have achieved that, I think. So we've got our step-by-step courses. What we don't want it to be is just a course. We want it to have us in it as well. Obviously, we write the courses. Ingrid voices over the courses. I feel like I don't do anything. It's like I don't do anything because you're the video person, you're the voiceover person. It's like as if I don't do anything. I'm like the one writing everything. So I do things. It always said, look at Ingrid, the face of the Declutter Hub, aren't you? Anyway, sorry. I am doing something, honestly. But yeah, so we do our live Q&As every 2 weeks, and that is all about you saying, you know what, I've gone through your course, but I'm still really struggling with this bit of it. Or you talked about specific storage solutions, but actually my house is not like that, and I've got this scenario. Have you got any advice for us? Why is it so hard? Why do I find it so difficult personally? So this is all about the live Q&A is definitely all about really personal stuff. Where you submit your questions to us, we answer them for an hour, don't we, every 2 weeks? And so that's the kind of personal input that we give to you, as well as the community within there, where we're always around to answer questions. We've also got quick wins in the membership group as well. So not everything is right, let's do your bedroom this week, because that's a huge job. We drill down on much smaller areas of the home as well. A little bit like our Random Acts of Decluttering Challenge, we focus on one really, really much smaller area, don't we, as well?
Yeah, I think it's true, Leslie, because we started with writing the courses. And of course, then when we did write the courses and we voiced them over and started putting them on, we realized there's actually also lots of smaller areas that you can do as smaller of projects. And that's how we thought about the quick wins, because that wasn't originally the plan to be in the membership. But when we were in the membership and we were working on all the courses and items, we then thought, oh, you know what, we should actually make smaller decluttering challenges. And that's how the quick wins came about. So that was not something we thought of before, but I really enjoy them because the courses are voiceover and you do a great job in writing them, and we write them together, and then you do all the scripting for it. But the quick wins really is me being on the video, doing a lot of demonstrating and showing what in my house is the situation. And yeah, I really, really enjoy that. Yeah.
And the interesting thing as well about the membership that we've changed, and so this is all about what we have learned this year. When we first did our first free challenge, we thought, well, the members won't want to do that because all of the information in the free challenges is sitting there in the membership site in much, much more detail. But what we learned is that camaraderie of lots of people going through the same thing at the same time is also really important. So all of the challenges that we do are there ad infinitum in the membership area as well. So that was something that we learned this year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's just been a brilliant year. And it's just so enjoyable to see all the comments and read everybody's journeys. And if people send us pictures, on the Facebook group or in our forum, it's like, yes, love it. Yeah, the motivation, that we are able to create a movement. That is, I think, so fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. What a fab year it's been. And I'm really delighted with the progress that both we have made and that everybody in the Declutter Hub community has made as well. Members or non-members alike, everyone's doing fantastic work. And even if we could just get one or two more items of clutter out of your home and get a little bit organized, a little bit more organization and clarity at home, that's what this is all about. So we hope that you've really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for us, we really enjoyed going up to Newcastle, didn't we? We did some posts on the Facebook group at the time in September. It was right after we launched our membership. We actually went to a membership conference and we just had a fabulous time. And we learned so much there as well, didn't we, Leslie?
We did, because I think memberships in this country, in the UK, are still quite a relatively new thing. Whereas I think in other areas of the world, they're a little bit more established and it's something that people are sort of committed to and see the value in. Whereas in the UK, it's a little bit different here. And so it was nice for us, wasn't it, to go to people. And at that membership conference, there was people from all over the world. And everyone was like, we want to buy into your membership site. And we were like, okay. So, yeah, we definitely made our mark there. That's for sure on that membership conference. So what a fab time. And it was lovely to go up there. And we'll be going there again the year after next, hopefully, won't we?
Yeah. And Leslie, let's be honest, we've really enjoyed working together as well, haven't we?
We definitely do. We honestly, it's a good job, let me tell you, that we have editing software for our podcasts. You don't hear the things that get cut out, the kind of laughter and the ridiculousness and the kind of, we've got no idea what we're saying next and things like that. It sounds in the edited version if it all flows beautifully. But actually there's quite a lot of cuts, isn't there, Ingrid?
Yeah, we do. And I think, you know what, that's what makes it fun as well. And I'm really looking forward to 2020 and keep working with you, Leslie, because it's just been absolutely so much fun. And when you run a small business like we both do, and you're doing that by yourself and you're behind yourself, it's just so great to be able to kind of, we talk to each other at least once a day normally, but it's just, I really enjoy our talks and I learn so much as well. So it's just been,
yeah, there's always things to learn, isn't there? No, we do. We knew that, didn't we? When we decided to do this, which was about 18 months ago, we knew already that we'd work well together because we get on great together. And I hope that comes across to you guys, is that we just have a lot of fun doing this. We're very serious about it. We know that this is an important life-changing journey for a lot of people. And we want to be there to handhold and to guide you through that and to get you to the end of it in the least painful way possible. That's why we have a laugh. That's why we joke about, because actually you've got to have humour in there because it's a tough old journey and we get that completely. And if we can make one little iota of difference to your life and make things a little bit clearer for you, that's what we want to do. And Ingrid and I knew that we wanted to do that together. As we said, we're great friends anyway. We have a right laugh. We've not fallen out, have we? Everyone always says, you're going to fall out with your business partner. We have not fallen. We've been a bit grumpy sometimes, mostly me, or sometimes Ingrid, probably mostly me. But yeah, we have been a little bit grumpy on occasions. There are times when we've had to reset and say, okay, let's bring the fun factor here. But yeah, no, it's been an absolutely fantastic year. And I'm very excited about what 2020 brings.
I know, because we are going to do another challenge in January.
We can't go into 20. Of course we are. We can't go into 2020 without a challenge, can we? New year, new you. But what we want to do this year, so we want to make sure that if you've got a New Year's resolution to declutter, that it actually happens this year, and that 2 weeks into January, you're not like, well, that was rubbish. That's not going to happen. We need to be there, and you need that inspiration. You need that motivation and so on to make that work. So whether that's listening to our lovely podcasts and writing reviews and sharing that, whether it's posting in our free Facebook group or whether it's joining our membership, wherever that is, we really want to make a difference to you. So thank you so much to everything that you've given back to us this year, because we've absolutely loved it. And let's 2020 be the year of a clutter-free home.
Hear, hear, Leslie. I feel we should have champagne now and kind of go, cheers, Happy New Year. And also from me, a very heartfelt thanks to all of our listeners all over the world. Your lovely comments. We couldn't do it without you, honestly. And it makes me a bit, me, I always cry, but I'm trying really hard not to, because it's just been fab and we love hanging out with you. So thanks so much for taking the time to listen today. Don't forget to leave us a review. We love your review, and to let us know what you think about the show. And if you'd like to get more tips and advice, come and join us on social media. We are everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook group, the Declutter Hub community. We'd love to see you there. Have you signed up for our Random Acts of Decluttering challenge starting on January 6th? You can find it on declutterhub.com/random-acts-jan. And if you want to declutter and start afresh in 2020, take a look at members.declutterhub.com to find out more about our membership. And if you don't want to miss our next weekly episode, subscribe to the Declutter Hub podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. And it will pop into your notifications each Friday. Have a wonderful new year. See you in 2020.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Declutter Hub podcast. Check out declutterhub.com for more inspiration, and don't forget to tune in next week.